What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Island Alvin Breaker Kibbey with the Ram Cycle. And so here we have Alvin Breaker Kibbey posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Breaker here does get a few accessories. He does come with a helmet, which looks really nice. I do like the detailing that they did on it. He also does come with a Gatling gun, which we did see with the Amazon roadblock, and that does go into the sidecar of the Ram Cycle. And then of course he does come with the Ram Cycle, which we'll have a look at in a little bit. But other than that, he's a little bit light on accessories. I would have liked to see some firearms, maybe a backpack on him, but unfortunately all he gets is the Gatling gun and his helmet, and of course the Ram Cycle. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually take a closer look at Breaker and the Ram Cycle. And so here we have a closer look at the Ram Cycle, and I think Hasbro has done a really good job with this little accessory. Although it's not a little accessory, it's a really nice motorcycle that they gave Alvin here. It's a really light vehicle, so you don't have to worry about it damaging anything if it falls. I do worry that if it falls from a significant height, it might just split open, just because it does feel a little bit light. Now I do like the fact that it does come with this sidecar right here, and it does house a Gatling gun, and it's a really nice look. Just look at how nice that looks. It's a little bit strange that you would have a Gatling gun on the side. I mean, how would you even function it on a sidecar? He's mainly just going to be driving with it, but yeah, it's still a very solid vehicle. Now let's actually take the sidecar off really fast just so we can get a better look at the Ram Cycle, and really loving the detailing here, especially right here at the headlights or headlamp. You can see they did paint it silver, which looks really nice amongst the fatigue green that they went with. We do have the G.I. Joe insignia here, the MG1027 and the G.I. Joe star, which looks really nice. We do have a decal wrench right there, and then we do have instrument cover right there. We have some nice detailing all throughout the Ram Cycle. Pegs on the, not really the footrest, but yeah, we do have some footrests that you can peg them onto. Although I feel like those pegs are a little bit too big. Now, one thing I do love about this is that they really did cover up the holes. Normally there would be holes where you would see the screws. This does a really good job of covering them up. I mean, in all honesty, they really don't have any screw holes, so I really do like that. The wheels, you can see, do kind of have like a G.I. Joe star in the middle, but I like the fact that these are a little bit soft. That way when they roll, they don't damage any of your hardwood floors or wherever you do happen to play with this. And then of course on the back of the Ram Cycle they did add a translucent red piece for the tail lamp, which is a little bit strange. We have an American flag right here, and then of course the ports where the sidecar does fit in, and that fits in really nicely. Once you get it in, you don't have to have the kickstand that comes with the Ram Cycle down, because the sidecar does a really good job of keeping this leveled. I do like that. It's a really nice little thing. The decals on this look fantastic, and they don't feel cheap. Like, you can run your finger on them and they actually feel like they're part of the sculpt, not just a decal. But yes, they are a decal. Really liking how the Ram Cycle is, and Alvin does fit on it really nicely. And yeah, you can tip it over if you're like really forceful with it, but just normal play, you can see it does wobble a little bit, but it's not gonna like tip over every time you mess with it. So really like the engineering on this, and it does have some detailing right here. We have the odometer right here and another gauge right here. The handlebars are on ball joints, so those do rotate around, so if you want to have them in a specific way you can. But that's the Ram Cycle for you guys. So what we're going to do now is actually take a closer look at Alvin Breaker Kibbey. And so here we have a closer look at Breaker, and I think they did a fantastic job with this figure. There's a lot of things to like about this figure, and despite the fact he is mostly reuse, what is reuse here works perfectly for him. So starting off with the head, this is a very nice head sculpt. I do like the fact it's a very solid head sculpt. I know a lot of people have been using this for the Mysterio for the MCU collection, and I can see why it does bear some resemblance to Jake Gyllenhaal. But I'm gonna keep it as Breaker here because, you know, this this is a G.I. Joe figure, and I'm going to keep it a G.I. Joe figure, but I really do like the hair sculpt. It looks really nice. If it wasn't for this seam line going across his head, I think it would look so much better if that was just a little bit cleaner. Overall, really liking this head sculpt. They did a fantastic job just sculpting it. And one thing I do like is that his helmet actually fits on his head perfectly. You can see putting it on, it doesn't look oversized. And then a lot of times when you do helmets over figures, it looks oversized or too small, or the head is too small, and this is the right size. Everything here works. The microphone doesn't look absurd, as well as the antenna. It looks like a working functional microphone and helmet. So yeah, I really do like that, and the glasses look fantastic. I love the transition from purple to green. Really nice attention to detail there. So having a look at his body here, I believe for the most part his vest here is new to him. I could be wrong, it might have been seen on another G.I. Joe figure, but to my knowledge, and this is just me handling this figure first, this is the first time I see this particular vest. It looks really nice. You can see they did a really good job of matching the colors to his overall uniform. We do have some darker greens for the pouches, although that might just be an illusion done by my studio. It still looks very solid, and we do have some straps going throughout it. Love the web gear that he has on, and then of course some more texturing right there. So if it wasn't for the vest, this figure would be mostly reused. I believe he reuses Firefly and Duke parts. I could be wrong, I don't have Firefly, so I can't really compare the parts. But his arms are absolutely Duke. You can see he even has the watch right there, and a band right here, the sleeves rolled up to the elbow. It really is just reused from Duke, from the hands all the way to the shoulder, and possibly the butterfly cap. I don't know, haven't taken this figure apart, so I really can't say, but it looks really good when compared with the rest of the figure. It actually looks like government issued uniform, something that is very rare to see on G.I. Joe characters because they all have something unique about them. Breaker here looks fantastic in his military issued design, so I really do like the fact that he stands out just because he's a very simplistic figure. The pants, like I said, I do believe are from Firefly. They could be from Beachhead. I don't know. I don't have either of those figures to compare, but I do like the way they're sculpted. We do have some seam lines right here, some pockets sculpted, so that's really nice. Even on the back, you can see they sculpted the pockets right there. The line work looks very good, and he is sporting some knee pads, which it kind of makes sense. He is on a motorcycle, and that's going to be for his protection. The elbow pads are also painted here on the elbows, so really a nice attention to detail there. Having a look at his boots are done very well done. I love the texturing that they went with on the boots. It's fantastic. It actually looks like a weathered leather boot, and the straps here look very nice. The lacing is very good. And again, he does have some straps on the boot, and something I am glad, he doesn't have any armor right here on the shins. He actually looks like a government issued fighter, and that's really strange to see, especially in the G.I. Joe line. Overall, really like the design of Breaker here. He's a fantastic looking figure, and I am really happy to have him amongst my G.I. Joes. He looks very nice. I do like it. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Breaker posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Breaker posed next to a WWE Elite Collection figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Breaker posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have Breaker posed next to a G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Infantry Trooper and Duke. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through his articulation. Now, Breaker here does have the standard G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation, which is a ball hinge here at the head. You can see he can look back about that far. Can lean forward about that far, and those are some really heavy detents. I know you guys can hear that. It's like, wow. We don't get any side-to-side pivot on that ball joint, but he does turn left and right. He does have some slight pivot right here in the neck, although that's mainly going to be for forward and back movement. We don't get too much side-to-side, which is a little bit unfortunate. His shoulders are on butterfly joints, so they do pivot back and forward a little bit. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a little bit. That's about as far back as they go. That's about as far forward as they go. They go out to the side really nicely, all the way around. We have a bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow, giving us better than 90 degrees. On the left wrist, we do have a vertical up and down hinge. On the right wrist, we have an in and out hinge. He does have a mid-torso crunch, but because of his harness right here and all his vest, you really can't get to use it that much. I mean, you can maybe get like one click out of it going back, but it's virtually unmovable. But he does have a ball joint here at the waist, which does allow him some forward and back movement, which I'm beginning to think maybe that's why they gave G.I. Joe figures that ball joint right there. You can tilt side to side as well as rotate left and right. Legs do drop down if you really want them to. They do kick forward to about right there, go back, out to the side, no problem. They go out really far, so I do like that. He does have a thigh swivel, which works good. Double bend at the knee, a little bit stiff, but it does go up past 90. He has a rotation here at the boot, hinge in the ankle, going back and forward, and of course, forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, really do like his articulation. So what we're going to do now is get Breaker posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Island Alvin Breaker Kibbey pose for my final thoughts. And overall, I do like the way this figure came out, and I think the Ram Cycle is a very nice accessory that Hasbro gave us. I do like the fact that Hasbro is giving us some weapons and some vehicles for G.I. Joe, and the Ram Cycle here looks very nice, especially with Breaker here. He looks really good riding it. At first I thought the vest was going to hinder some of his posability on the motorcycle, but as you can see, he actually rides it really well, and you can actually get a pretty decent motorcycle pose out of it. I do like the fact that the sidecar does help with balance, especially because the motorcycle has a kickstand that is a little bit loose on mine. It really does move around a little bit too much for my liking, but overall still a very solid release, and Hasbro knocked it out of the park with this release. Hopefully we do see some more smaller vehicles. I would love to see what they come up with, maybe a snowmobile for a winter island mission that Snowjob can have. I don't know. We'll see what Hasbro does, but overall I'm really happy with this particular version of the Ram Cycle with Breaker. If you are looking for the Breaker and Ram Cycle combination, you do have to go to Target because the Cobra Island series is exclusive to Target, and unfortunately this guy hasn't been very easy to track down. Online he sold out really fast, and at the time of making this video he's still sold out online. I actually found mine at my local Target. I walked in one day when I was just wanting to get out of the house, and he was on the shelf. I almost didn't see him because he was toward the back of the aisle, but I really was looking for things, so stumbling onto him, I knew I had to pick him up. Kibbey here will run you about $41, which is kind of high seeing as how this isn't as big as a Cobra coil, and you really don't get too much new parts with him. Basically it's a new head, new jacket, and the overall motorcycle is new. But yeah, I can see why a lot of people would be a little bit hesitant to pay that price, because again, the Cobra coil was a little bit bigger and you got Baroness with so many more accessories than this. Overall, if you want the Ram Cycle, I think you should pick it up, especially if you're a fan of classic G.I. Joe figures. The Ram Cycle is a very nice vehicle to own in your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other G.I. Joe figures. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.